Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are live. Welcome to Caliber Corner Season 5, episode number 251. This is the finest quality of life improvement podcast out there. I want to thank everybody for watching today. We're finally going live today. There's a gun auction that's actually going on today in my hometown of Columbus, Nebraska. Well, the town where I grew up. And it may be live at this time while we're showing it off, while we're sharing it with you. And so because this gun auction is going on, I thought to myself, we've never actually talked about purchasing firearms at estate sales or live auctions. I'm not talking about gun broker bidding online. We're talking about actually going to a gun auction and physically being there, looking the firearms over, getting in the bidding wars and what that whole experience is like, the pros and cons, the pitfalls, what you can gain from it, what you can lose from it. And again, it isn't much different than bidding on gun broker or any other online auction site. It's just that the internet has really, really changed the way that auctions happen now. I know when I was a kid, it was just like, 100 people show up and they go through it, but now with the internet and stuff, you're competing against the world if you want stuff. So is it even worth it to consider firearms auctions anymore? Anyway, before we do that, we'll give a little, let's let the panelist introduce himself today. So Squib is with us. Hey, Squib, how you doing, man? You good? Y'all fired up or what?
Yeah, I'm the singular panelist. Yeah, I'm actually doing double duty here. I'm filming another coffee review video while we're doing the show. So I'll try to put over here in the private chat if I step away to say something,
All right. Yeah.
turn on the camera and whatnot. But I always forget to do that. And then you call on me and I'm gone or whatever. And,
it's okay. It's
yeah,
right.
No, I try to
stay with it.
I'd like to walk a mile in a host shoe. At some point, I'll host my own show and then I'll have to deal with, your guys' problems. But I've got some coffee here that I was sent to try out, and I'm making 3 videos. I'm shooting the videos out of order, and out of order that I'm publishing them, or that I wanted to publish them. So I'm actually publishing the first one, or the last one I wanted to publish first. I'm publishing the last one I'm going to try second, and then the one I'm doing today third. So just working on it. We had coffee talk off air and
about 30 minutes we talk coffee straight.
Yeah. Those of you guys who aren't into coffee, you don't get it, and that's fine. But it's kind of nice that we get a little bit more than just firearms on this show. Although you do have that B channel, so
absolutely, coffee, computers, and more. Check it out. Get over there, like and subscribe, people.
If you want a good breakfast burrito to go with your coffee,
I'm the man to review it for you. I need to do more of that, though. I need to get out there and really hit some of the local spots here and talk about what you can get. So, Squib and I were kind of toying with the idea of doing a coffee podcast over on my B channel. So that's something that might happen. And it's just, it's weird how you don't think you'd ever really get into something. And then once, you try it, it's like, oh man, this is really good. And then before you know it, you're addicted to it. It's a positive kind of peer pressure being addicted to coffee. So that's what we got to say.
It is.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. It's a lot of money, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's coffee or firearms or optics or antiques or whatever. Some reason or other, all of my friends love to help me spend my money. They send me links to things to buy. They let me know, hey, this is on sale, or hey, weren't you looking for this, or just I don't know.
It's fun. It's fun being in the industry that we're in and spending other people's money. Just living vicariously through Squib's credit card.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you guys just like suggestive sell, or just use that. Just say something, and suddenly it's like, oh, I've got to have this in my life. Yep. So yeah, the coffee is another one of those rabbit holes I've gone down, but it's definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's give a little shout out on the YouTube side, and then we're going to go ahead and just talk about our experiences at these firearms auctions and so on, and what happens. A lot different than going to a gun show, a lot different from buying something online. So we'll kind of talk about the pros and cons. Now, every state's going to be different. Every state has their own laws and their own specifications that you have to follow when you go to estate sales, which many times feature firearms. Here in Nebraska, you cannot have an estate sale without having farm equipment and guns. I mean, that's just going to be what's going to happen at a good chunk of the estate sales you find here in Nebraska. So anyway, joining us today, we got John Z, MOEDC. John Z's out there. YNH is watching. Tony York, the gun snob. Tacos and French fries is with us today, too. Mike is out there. Oh, let's see who's out there. I'm out there. Apparently, Defense Dad's with us out there this morning, too. Squiblet, Kingpin, Squibload, X-Adam 1. Yeah, so there we go. All right, so gun snob, good morning, sir. Good morning. All right, so here's what you need to understand. When you go to these auctions, first of all, you want to find out is it going to be cash only, or are they going to take credit card, right? When you go to gun auctions, there's probably going to be some sort of a fee for processing the credit card. You also have to watch out because a lot of your high-end auctions are going to have fees you have to pay. There's bidder fees, there's seller fees. Sometimes there's a final transaction fee. So, you might look at that little $75 high point and you bid on it and you get it. And then there's, like $25, $30 in fees you got to pay on it. And then you're like $10 short of buying a brand new one. So you really want to be careful when you do it. What's really nice at a lot of these auctions, though, when you go in person, is you can walk around and you can actually handle the firearms. Here, at least in Nebraska, you can check them out, because when you go online, a lot of the online auctions I've seen, yeah, the guns are correctly rated. They do post the serial numbers online for the auctions here in Nebraska, but you don't really know about the true condition of the gun. There could be a frame crack and you might not know about it. There may be problems with the wood or the furniture and you may not realize it till you actually handle the gun. So if you can go to one in person, I would highly recommend it. But if you can't, then there's also the online world of bidding too, which creates another pitfall when it comes to these auctions, because now it's you bidding against the world. So you might think you're going to get a great deal. Like right now, this auction I'm going to show you, I'm watching this cool SIG P226 Sport German manufactured pistol that's coming up for sale. It's already up to $600. I mean, it started off like $100. And here's the other thing too, with the internet, they start this pre-bidding early. So like the pre-bidding on these items that I'm going to show you, it started a month ago. So these prices have started at $1 and they've already gone up. And I've actually been to this particular auction for a previous estate sale in person, and it's amazing how fast the prices go. They do one lot literally every minute, and it was like 6-7 hours straight, guns and ammo and so on. We'll talk about the prices here in a little bit. Let's check and see what we have out here in the comment section. Night Strike is out there. He says, my experience with firearms auctions are expect to pay more than what the firearm is worth if you really want it, and expect to get outbid by online bidders. Yeah, I mean, have the budget for whatever you want. If you can browse ahead of time what's going up for sale, do that. Go online and check the values of what the gun should go for. Take that information with you when you go to the auction, and try not to get caught in a bidding war, because you could spend 2 times more than what the gun would be worth if you bought it in the store. But it's just because you're strutting your stuff and you want that item and you don't care. So you drop $1,000 on a gun that's $500. And that's what happened with the ammo at this last estate sale I went to. The ammo was going for more than retail. Like a little box of American Eagle 5.56, that would sell for $12.99 was going for $15, $20 a box, and people were buying it. It was crazy. But then when I thought about it, in all honesty, in that area, you can order ammo online, but there's not a lot of stores around the area in Columbus, Nebraska that sell ammo. Like Walmart doesn't carry handgun ammo. So if you want a box of 9, you've got to go to one of the gun stores. And you may pay $20 a box, and if you have to order ammo online, you're looking at $20 to $30 for shipping. So I can see why people might pay more at an auction, because they can get it and have it, especially if they need it or want it. Plus, many times you can get some very unusual or rare calibers at these auctions. There might be a lot of like 75 boxes of 45-70 Hornady, right? And you're like, oh man, I got to have it, right? So you don't care what you're going to pay. So you got to watch out for bidding wars, because that can make things very, very expensive. Squib, you with me there? What's your experience with any auctions you've ever been to? What are some of the pitfalls that you've seen before?
I've never been to an auction. One of the reasons I haven't is I'm not really aware of any that are in my area. I'd probably have to travel to them. The other thing is, I've heard that sometimes you have to leave a non-refundable deposit just to get in. And my thing is, hey, if I don't see anything I like, or I get outbid by everybody, I'm going to be kind of ticked off if I had to pay it. I mean, like if it's 10 or 20 bucks, no big deal. But if it's like hundreds of dollars, which I've been told that the deposit is towards your purchase. So, if I had to pay $500 to get in on this auction and I walked out of there $500 short with nothing, I'd be pretty ticked off. So I don't know if that's a norm, or if that's just something that,
That's probably that particular auction house, because the one I went to, you have to go in, you have to register if you want to be a bidder. You have to show ID. You have to, because we're going to be bidding on firearms. I don't know if it's 18 or 20. I think it's 21 and up to bid. And then they also take a credit card and they put that on file temporarily. So if you make your purchase, when you go to check out, it's already there. You can't just walk out with the item. You're going to have to pay, obviously. And so, yeah, there was no deposit on the one that I went to. It's just they held your credit card. You paid $5 to get in, then you got your bidding number. So that's how it was for me. But yeah, if you have to go pay some deposit and then get your money back, I mean, that's another thing you can run into. Is you're like, oh man, there's gonna be some great deals. And you go there, it's like, oh, this is gonna be expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to peruse it ahead of time, but then, if you're online, all you have to go is pictures and description, whereas if they'll let you walk around inside and take a look at it and
These
then go
do.
sit
Yeah, I don't
down,
know about
then,
other
yeah,
states,
yeah.
Nebraska. And then, God, the last one I went to, man, they had brand new unfired 308 Vepr in the box. They had beautiful Mosin Nagants. I mean, just beautiful. They had Enfields. The last show that I went to, they had a couple Arsenal AKs. They had some really nice ARs. So, I mean, it was, some of these I wish I would have been on because to make money, I mean, I could have bought some of these and flipped them and probably made $300 or $400 each on them based off the prices they went for. So, hey, Missouri Patriots joining us today. Missouri, how's it going, man?
Oh, pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Hey, so what you been doing, man? What you been up to lately?
Well, I'm finally out of Nebraska, back to Kansas City, so that's good.
Good for you. Yeah, there you go. Back to civilization and good barbecue, huh?
That's right. Yeah, back to the grind.
Everybody's in Missouri, man. I'm looking on the right side, and everybody's in Missouri. I think you guys are telling me something. There's like 4 or 5 of you 6 of you that I know of that are in Missouri. So that must be the place to be, man. You got the great fireworks. You got the beautiful scenery all around you. So
God's country, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's all right. So quick question for you. What are your experiences with auctions that you've gone to or auctions that feature firearms? Have you had any experience with them at all?
Yeah, I've had a couple. I did like some online stuff, and I've never really had any luck. It just seemed like last minute somebody else swooped in and outbid me. And then a few local ones. Their reserve was way out, overpriced, so I didn't get those either.
Yeah, the last one I went to, it was no reserve. But the problem is because of the internet bidding, it was already up. Like there's an AK you want, it's already pushing 500 or 600 when it might be 700 or 800 new, like let's say this is Ostava, M70 or whatever. And it's like, oh man, this is, the prices. I guess if you want it, you can get it there. And they do the FFL transfers in Nebraska. They do those transfers on site. You don't have to ship it to another dealer. They actually do the processing and paperwork right there. This company does. They're very professional. One thing I will say, though, you talk about getting outbid. At this one, they do a very good job watching the online price and then watching you. So, like, they're giving time. So, like, you might be like, they say, hey, 1,500, I'll take it. And then, they'll punch 1,500 in on the computer. Boom, it goes up to 15. And then the internet person has time to respond. They do the going once, going twice, sold. So it's going to be fair. Like, the only limit could be like on your phone or your computer. You might be limited by your data connection, your phone connection if you're not on Wi-Fi. You might place a bid for it and miss it. The clock is ticking on these things. Yeah. And so maybe, like, it's cool. The little alert pops up on the phone when you're watching. It says going once, going twice. If you don't hit enter right away, you're not going to get that item.
Yeah, I may not have been watching it close enough, and maybe that's why.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're not careful, it's going to happen to you. So so when you go to it, there's a lot of preparation you should do ahead of time. The other thing you got to watch out for is this particular state sale we're showing. It's beer paraphernalia, signs, neon, collectibles, mugs, and firearms. So like you might go there thinking you're going to go buy like an M1 Garand, right? And then you might end up coming home with like a truck full of neon signs or something. So you're going to see that when I do the scrolling to show you what's out there. We can kind of check the prices. So
now something I like about that, if I went to one of these where I'm spending money to commute there, maybe if it's further away, I'm staying at a hotel overnight so I can be there, and I have to leave a non-refundable deposit. If I get outbid on every gun, maybe I could come home with something else. It's kind of nice having more than just firearms there. Something I would probably be looking for, and I might have seen it in that that link I scrolled through, is I'm kind of in the market for a Type 30 bayonet. I thought I might have saw something like that. So even if I got outbid on a firearm, especially if they're doing the bayonets later, if they're doing the bayonets early, I'm going to spend my money and I won't have money for a gun, but at least I'm leaving with something. Finding an antique bayonet, a matching bayonet to go with your rifle is something that I try to do. But once again, I think for something like that, I'd rather go to the in-person where I can see it as opposed to a picture online, and then you end up buying a $20 made in China reproduction and you get screwed.
Yeah. This stuff all looks authentic, but it doesn't mean you couldn't pick up something counterfeit. Like they've got that 1861 Remington new model Navy or whatever it is. That's $750 right now when it should be going for $2,000 or $3,000. So it's like, okay, is that real? And furthermore, if it is real, just how bad is it? Because, you're going to want to get something where it's going to hold its value. Or maybe you don't care, you just want it because you can get it. Like I'm not showing the auction right now, but they've got a new in the box Colt Anaconda 44 for sale. It's $1,550 right now. And I think it's a vintage. I don't think it's the new style. I mean, I don't know Colt handguns well enough to tell you, but it looks like an original Colt Anaconda.
Yeah,
so like we're gonna see what that monster goes for. It could go for $2,000 or $3,000, if not more.
I noticed that too, and I was thinking this thing's going to end up at $4,000 if it's the older one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, also joining us, speaking of older ones, we got Defense Dad with us today, the king of the estate sales and the auction ring. Defense Dad, how's it going, man?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So if there's one thing you've taught me, man, it's all about haggling and it's all about value, getting your money's worth. So Defense Dad, what is your experience with auctions? Did you go to a lot of them growing up? You kind of grew up out west. You tend to get a lot of estate sales and stuff like that, when people pass.
Never a gun auction, but yeah,
okay.
Done a lot of I grew up working on muscle cars and building cars, so we would go to a lot of estate sales and just sales in general, and you can scour those. They're kind of fun, but yeah, you gotta. It's easy to get caught up and overpay for stuff.
Yeah, it's something that you can run into. I mean, would you say that you can get good deals at all? Or are these even worth attending at all? What do you think?
I haven't been to one in so long that I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Anymore, I work weekends, so it's always when the sales are on.
Yeah. And that's the thing about this one too.
Today.
Well, with this one being online too, the way that the Yap auctions runs, and again, I'm not endorsed by this company, but they do a really good job. The way that it runs on your phone is very efficient, because I actually bid on a couple items on the phone when I was out, because this auction runs like 6 or 7 hours. It's going to be starting pretty soon. And I wanted to tell you guys about that Anaconda just in case the auction would happen to kick off and it would disappear, because I'm going to show you guys the auction here in a little bit. So Guns and Barbecue says an older Anaconda should easily hit $4,000. Anybody out there? John Z says, if anybody's going to TriggerCon, I need a driver. So there we go. X Adam 1 says, I've gotten great deals on Gunbroker while bidding. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, Gunbroker, those are auction, those are bidding sites. And just like eBay, when the time runs out, if you're the high bidder, you're going to get it. Again, stuff to watch out for: credit card processing fees, shipping, FFL transfer. And that's another reason to consider picking something up locally at the estate sale or the auction, the gun auction, if you will, because you can get it there without paying the shipping. There's probably going to be sales tax, but there won't be an FFL transfer fee if they do it on site. And here the transfers were free at the auction the last time I went there. And you get it right away. You don't have to wait for it to show up. You don't have to worry about UPS taking it, right?
So I have to ask, what's the driving force more, whether you go in person or online to an auction? Is it to get a deal, or is it to finally get this thing you've been looking everywhere for and you just can't find it, but they've got it at the auction? Which is the bigger drive?
Well, honestly, I think it's the fact you can hold it and see it. You know what you're getting.
Well, no, I don't mean in person. I mean, whether you do it in person or online, are you going to this thing primarily because you got some money to burn and you want to get a deal? Or is it because I've been looking for this thing for 5 years and I finally find it and it's at a dang auction, I've got to go fight other people to get it?
With me, like the appeal of that SIG P226, it's like, okay, that's an out of production P226. It's stainless. It's a sport model. They're rare. It's only $600 right now. It could be pushing $1,200 on, or you might go online and there are none for sale anywhere else. It's like you said, when you go to that antiques firearms sale, you're walking around and there's stuff on there that would be in a museum otherwise, and you're finding it right here for sale. That's kind of the draw of it, is this is the only one that's out there and I want it. Like when I was looking at that Vepr, I was looking at those Mosins were immaculate. I mean, these were beautiful Mosins, the ones that all numbers matching, no pitting, finish was perfect on them. They looked like they were just like brand new, right? So I'm looking at like, God, this is a chance to get one of these in this great condition. I don't know if I buy one online, I don't know what I'm going to get. Granted, Gunbroker does a pretty good job showing photos generally, because am I going to get something that's going to be all pitted out or rusted out if I take off the furniture? So, for me, it's just the idea that I can get it because I can't get it anywhere else. And I'll tell you this, that there's a sign that I bought, the beer sign that I bought at the last auction that I went to. It was a sign in Spanish. It was a rush bidding on it, man. It was me and another person, and I didn't want to lose it, man. I didn't want to lose it. And I got it cheaper than it would have been on eBay. But it's like, this guy's like 20, I'm like 21, 22, 23. I got it for like $27, So, but that part of it, man, I can see how it's almost like an addiction to get wrangled into these things. And then you throw guns in the mix and it's like, man, you just got access to everything you want right there, But yeah, one thing you were mentioning, Squib, is that, like parts, you didn't see a lot of parts on this particular auction. You're either going to get gunsmith special guns, or you're going to get really good guns, or you're going to get some fairly well-worn firearms, And so the prices aren't necessarily as good as you think that they would be. So yeah, definitely not the place to go for parts unless they mention there's going to be gun parts up for sale. The other thing too that kind of surprised me at the last one is ammo. You know, the boxes looked good on all these. That you could tell they've been handled and moved around. But I don't know if I'd want to get ammo, new manufacturer ammo at an estate sale. What do you guys think about that? I mean, what if it was stored in somebody's shed for 20 years? Sure, the cases might not be rusted, but man, if it's been exposed to moisture or it's in somebody's garage for a decade, you know.
When I'm at a gun show, I don't buy ammo unless it's really hard to find, just like reload powder. So I don't recommend buying powder. Now, if I want that antique powder jug, I'll buy it for that, not worry about the powder. Same thing with the ammo. If I collect ammo, I have ammo I will never shoot. And so if I see that, I'm okay with it because I'm never going to put this in a gun.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I've never bought ammo at a gun show. I mean, if it's at FFL and it's brand new, but
well, the boxes look good. If it's an FFL, they probably pulled it off their shelves and threw it in their truck and brought it to the show. I mean, you can guess they're not going to store that stuff out in their garage, you know.
I'd be leery. I'd be leery of some of it, unless you just want it for that old box for the looks or whatever. Sometimes you could buy it just for the components. You know, somebody might have like all the milsurps I get, right? Some of the brass for that is expensive. So you might buy some of these old ones just saying, I'm going to dismantle it. I'm going to replace the powder, the primer. I'm going to, you know, clean the brass and I'll reuse the bullet. And you're paying a couple bucks for this old ammo just to rebuild it.
Yeah. Missouri, what were you going to say? You were going to mention something here too?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I agree with you guys. You know, you don't know how it's stored. So I wouldn't like to do that.
I mean, these boxes look pretty good. It was a lot of these were newer style boxes, but I'm looking at it like and some of the boxes were like partially fired. I don't know if the person had taken the gun out and shot it a few times. And then, you know, and again, I don't know the conditions of where the stuff comes from, if this is a bunch of estates put together, or if it's one particular collection, because they don't tell you that. And that's fine. That's not the issue. But really be leery about buying the ammo. Not only that, but the prices are just not. I'm sitting next to my dad at this auction at the last time, and I go, Dad, that box of 9mm went for $25. I go, I can go to Shields and buy it for $15. And my dad goes, yeah, but there's no Shields here. He goes, this guy's going to drive his diesel truck all the way to Lincoln to get a box of ammo. He goes, he's going to spend $30 on gas. I'm like, okay, you got a good point. Dad's always right, you know. Defense Dad, what about you? Have you ever bought ammo at a gun show at all or not?
I have some antique ammo. Some 38 special, that stuff I showed you, the 38 special and the 357.
Yeah.
I never bought anything I planning on firing. But although I tell you, I looked at this stuff and there's no corrosion on it.
That's just it. Yeah, look for like green. What oxidizing on the lead itself, or oxidizing where the lead meets the case. Look for rust on the cases.
Yeah, like I have some antique ammo my grandpa had, and it's sold 22, and I wouldn't fire it. It's corroded, but like if I was gonna buy stuff to fire and it was a decent price, I would for sure want to take a look at the boxes and make sure there's no corrosion on the. I mean, I would lean towards I can buy it cheap enough new that it'd have to be a really good deal to even try it.
I mean, the other thing too is like what I do like at this last estate. So they had some really old boxes of shotgun ammo, and the old boxes of shotgun ammo are just really cool. You just want to put like a dozen of them on a shelf, like on a mantle, just for the heck of it, you know, like the old school boxes from like the 50s and earlier, like the paper cartridges and stuff. I'd buy stuff like that, you know, maybe from a collector standpoint, or like what Squib said, you know, if you want the brass or you need the components, like I'm thinking of like, you know, your Martini Henry brass, right? You know, that stuff is going to be really expensive. So
yeah, or like me, just kind of an oddball thing coming from a woodworker standpoint. I do woodworking gifts for people at coasters and that kind of stuff. I incorporate cut down cases. So if I find some neat cases, I might do it just to get for the brass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like you can't get some good deals, but there's just when it comes to the ammo, I'd be a little leery. So don't. Even if it's a good deal, I'd advise against it. At least if you buy it from a store and something happens, you've bought it from because like you might have a gun, you might have a round, whatever, go off in your firearm. You might have some catastrophic failure, and then the manufacturer's like, well, where'd you buy it? Oh, I bought it at an estate sale. Well, you know, you didn't buy it from a retailer, and there's the liabilities on you at that point. It's always on us anyway. But still, you know, if there's a problem with it, it could have been a manufacturer defect where. I'm talking worst case scenario, you know.
I wonder though if people will start buying it more this way, since the credit card companies have now agreed to classify your credit card purchases.
Well, no, but see, the problem with this one is I don't think you can pay with cash. I think, well, you might be able to check out with cash, but they have a card on file at this particular auction.
Oh, okay.
So this one, I mean, they got a whole computer station set up where they've got 2 people that are receptionists. I mean, it's very professional. You know, it's cool. It's a very cool I like how this company runs. That they're based out of Grand Island, Nebraska. But that's a good point, though. Cash is the other thing too. And if it's a long gun, obviously you can take it. I don't even know if they do. I think they have to do it since they're FFLs. I think they have to do technical transfers. But all right. So Tony York says, any auction I've gone to, I went to see what was there, not to find something specific. Okay, cool. Yeah. And like I said, in the age of the internet, you can always look it up ahead of time. That's why this one that's going on today, I'm not going to go to it because I didn't really see anything that really caught my eye. But there's some cool guns there. They've got a lot of just vintage pistols, revolvers, and so I don't know much about the history of them. Some of them they'd be cool to bid on. They've got some really old Colts and some FNs, like some 32 and 25-8 APCs that they're ACP. I can't even talk this morning. But anyway, they've got some nice, old Colt and FN pistols and stuff that you can pick up. And I don't know if they're good deals or not. Some of these come without the magazines too, and that's another problem is you have to source a mag for like an 80-year-old gun. That could be an issue. That could cost as much as a gun itself, right, Squib?
Yeah, it can.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about what you're working on because it's going to be a surprise. But old Ferrari parts aren't cheap.
Man, I tell you what, some of these things have gone around the globe. They've gone from Italy to Argentina. No, from America to Italy to Argentina. They just keep tacking on every country it goes through.
And that just tacks on the price, doesn't it? Oh man. So X Adam 1 says they have things that are unique and might not know the gem that they have. Same with pawn shops. Yeah, this is true. You go walk around, you might see that, that Mosin, M44 that's in really good shape and it hasn't been bit by, the internet market prices and you get a good deal on it. We've all seen some good deals here and there. Wheel and Well Arms says, I bought local from Gun Broker, but he insisted he shipped it to my FFL. It went from a good deal if local picked it up to an okay deal. Yeah. Again, shipping, you're going to pay, even locally that, they don't want to do a local pickup. They want to go through an FFL. And I get it, especially if you're doing like a person-to-person firearm sale. If you, in Nebraska, I'm not going to say we've got okay laws about firearms transfers, private party sale, gun purchases. You can do them in Nebraska, handguns and revolvers. You don't have to go through an FFL if both people have concealed carry permit or pistol purchase permit. So that's a good thing. There's extra laws that get tacked on it for Lincoln and Omaha. But when you go through something like Gun Broker, again, it could be a situation where you got to pay for shipping and then you got to pay the processing fee and stuff. All right, so Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy says, I went to a gun auction once years ago, got a nice 30 carbine, paid just a little overpriced. And, I don't mind paying a little over, especially when you figure in what you're saving on what you'd normally have to pay elsewhere. Not to mention the fact that if you do a local pickup, you might have to drive to go pick it up. That's another thing too. Eduardo Espinosa says, this is what you need. This is what you need, Squibby. The Goodwill of Guns, a place where you can just go buy random stuff. We just need a gun junkyard of just like parts, Like Numeric needs to open up like a Toys R Us of gun parts where you just go just tables and tables of like a Wanamaker every day,
I used to see that back in the 80s and 90s. I would go to the local gun show, the one they'd have every other month. And in addition to having firearms and ammunition and holsters and stuff like that, they would have parts. And I would pick them up back then. And then over the years, it just dried up more and more and more. And I've got to go to a specialty gun show for that. Or you've got one guy with a table with some parts and everybody else just wants to sell guns, mags, and ammo. And I wouldn't mind something like that. But for the variety, it'd have to be a pretty big location for me to, be digging through bins of junk. Yeah,
Tulsa would be the one to consider. The only problem with Tulsa is that there's so many tables, you cannot spend too much time at one table or you will not get through it. You literally have 20 seconds per table if you want to hit every table in the time they actually give the non-FFLs to shop. So you might miss a really good, stock for an M1 Garand all the way on the other side, But again, I don't want to get into a Tulsa talk, but I'm just saying that would be the place to go for parts, overall. Now, granted, only a certain percentage of tables at Tulsa are guaranteed to be non-gun tables, so I don't know if they consider parts non-guns. So, I think it's like 15 or 20% of the tables or less are considered non-gun stuff when you go to the Wanamaker gun show. Because guys, we're talking like 2,500 tables, 2,200 tables of guns, basically. Yeah. Yeah. If you look at the stats up on the numbers, they tell you how many tables they have every year. And I'm not joking. It's literally 20 seconds per table or 30 seconds per table. If with the hours they give you to actually go to the gun show to hit every table. So I remember I blew the first hour or two just on the first eighth of it. I'm like, oh my God, because Never Enough Ammo and I were getting caught up and I was talking to vendors and stuff. And Hawaiian H says that there's bulk ammo vendors at the gun shows I go to. Yeah, if it's not a factory vendor, I'd have trouble buying it. I've seen guys selling bags of reloads, like Reloaded 9 and Reloaded 5.56. I can't.
So
I mean, I can't bring myself to do it. I'm sorry. As a reloader, I would hope I could trust somebody else's work, but man, one double charge, lights out, baby. Yeah.
This is what you need to look for when you're doing that. If they're a legitimate business, they might have them in bags, but they've got their logo on there.
That's bonded. Okay.
Yeah, they're an FFL. They have to have a federal firearms license to do that. Yeah. And they can make ammunition, reload ammunition. It's remanufactured. If it's okay, so if you and I do it, it's reloaded. If a business does it, it's remanufactured. And so if it's just Joe Blow with his, Hornady lock and load press cranking out hundreds of rounds an hour, and he's like, yeah, we'll make tons of money, they're breaking a federal law, and you probably don't want any part of that. But if they have, a banner and business cards, their name and address is on every bag, they've got decals on there, and maybe you could even ask them for proof of their FFL or something like that, then it's going to be legit, and there's going to be some liability there. But I wouldn't just buy from, Cooters going, yeah, I made these myself.
Yeah. This is the best deal in reloads in all the Tri-Counties.
You know what's funny is, though, when there
Cooters,
wasn't an ammo...
You all know Cooter too, huh?
Cooter's the cousin of the FUD, is that right? Yeah. Cooter's FUD's cousin. That's the guy that supplies the ammo to the FUDs,
Crazy Cooter coming back at you.
But I've with wax and bees.
I've gone to gun shows back when there were no ammo shortages, and I've seen these guys selling loose ammo in bags. They're vacuum sealed and stuff like that. And this is remanufactured ammo, and they want more for 50 or 100 rounds of 9mm than brand new at the table across the way from another FFL, from the Walmart I passed on the way in, or the gun shop I passed, or the sporting goods store I passed on the way to and I'm like, how can you? I mean, first off, people don't want reman ammo. A lot of there are people that absolutely they will not buy it.
I bought it once and it was fine, but it was 8 years ago, 7 years. I can't remember how many years ago. I bought one box from. I don't remember who, Freedom Munitions or something, but it was good. It's when they were good, when they were loading normal charges in the ammo, not undercharging their ammo, like a lot of people have issues with their ammo now. But that's just because back then that was 2016, and not only was ammo prices cheap, remanufactured ammo prices, I was paying like $125 for a case of 9mm, 1,000 rounds delivered. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was paying like $6 a box for remanufactured.
So when you're buying remanufactured, whether it's online or at one of these things, unless there's an ammo shortage and they're the only ones with it, or it's an oddball caliber, like some of the Milsurp calibers that I shoot, they really can't justify putting it in a bag and selling it to you for more money than what you would pay for new.
But so they do.
But they do. And I would say walk away. And they go, well, we got to recoup our costs. We'll do that.
And unfortunately, I think non-gun people think they're getting a good deal because, here's some 9 for
that's probably
$8 for a bag of 100 rounds of remanufactured. Oh, that's fine. I'll take it. I just want some range ammo anyway,
Yeah.
You don't even know what the grain weight is. You don't know what it was charged with. You don't know how it was handled, so. One thing I want to mention real quick about the live and online auction. So the auction I'm going to show you here soon, we're just going to start browsing what they have. They have a bidding notice on here, and it says this is a live on-site and online webcast auction. Absentee bidding is available for this auction. That's what we'll be looking at. The online buyer's premium is 15%. On-site buyers will not pay a buyer's premium. On-site, in-house, will not pay a buyer's premium, but will be charged 4% of using a credit or debit card. All local sales tax will be applied. So at this particular auction, you've got an online premium of 15% because they have another person that's staffing the computer the whole time, that's paying for that person's time. And you got to pay the 4% for your credit card online. So that's 19% premium you're going to pay on the price of that gun. So let's take 20%. Let's just round up to 20% of that $1,500 Colt Anaconda. You've just added $300 to the price of that gun if you get it. Now your $1,500 gun is $1,850. So, and it says if using a credit or debit card, all local sales tax will be applied. Oh, so if you pay cash, maybe you don't. I don't know. But again, that's one of those things where, and you can go into auction details if you want to, and then they'll tell you exactly what's going on. I don't know what time it starts up. We're just going to take a look at it here pretty soon. Yeah, they don't have the time. They've got the day, but they don't have the time listed. So last time I was there, it started at like 8:15. So whether or not it's going, it doesn't really matter. So the Colt is still at 1550 right now. So let's get through some of these questions or some of these comments. Patina. Tony York says, is Milsurp ammo any different? Squib, you want to answer that? If you bid on milsurp ammo or buy milsurp ammo at an auction, what do we mean by milsurp? What are we talking here?
All right. So if it's made in America or overseas, if it was made
intended for military contracts,
it's a military contract, and it's either an overrun or it's their leftover stuff they're getting rid of. I would typically buy that for either components or to collect, not necessarily to shoot. That's not to say I haven't shot some, but like was it some of the Greek?
If it was sealed spam cans, if it's sealed, I'm okay with that. If it's in like a box sealed, no. Because I know, like, we'll see 30-year-old AK ammo that pops up on classic firearms. You know, like the old corrosive good stuff. You know, yeah.
Spam cans are probably different than American ammo cans because you might have a good enough seal there. I don't know what conditions they're stored under, if anything would break down. But like, I've got some Greek or South Korean 30-06. It's some ball ammo. It's from their military, and I've had some duds. I've had some duds.
See, and that's the stuff that everybody says, oh, that's what you want to run through your Grand. That's the good stuff, the Greek ammo. You always hear about the Greek ammo, you know?
It is. Yeah, but I've had some, and I bought it for collecting, but I thought, I'll shoot some, and I can't remember which one it was. I think I've got.
By the way, guys, I posted the link to the auction on the comments if you guys want to click on it, follow along with us. So, yeah.
They came with the metal twist tie and everything else, and I want to say I bought 2 of one and 1 of the other. So probably the one I bought 2 of, I opened one of them to shoot, and not some of them shot, some of them didn't. But you also have to be careful too, because some of that stuff may have corrosive powder or corrosive primer, more likely corrosive primer. So, or in some cases, some of the guns, it's not good to shoot them in. You might want to make sure. There's been situations where certain guns have actually had damage done to them by, like the Turkish 8mm. I've heard don't shoot that. Right, I've got some of it. I bought it for collecting. I bought a bandolier for collecting. So
yeah, if you don't get that period era specific manufactured ammo, you can run into issues like we hear about shooting modern 30-06 through an M1 Garand. Yes, you can get the adjustable gas port. We know that, but if you fire, there's a possibility you could damage your op rod. If you run high power 30-06, modern hunting ammo through your M1 Garand, there's a possibility you could cause damage to it. Yes, I've had people. I did a video on that American Eagle M1 Garand ammo. And there have been keyboard commandos arguing back and forth for the last 3 years on that video saying, it ain't going to do nothing. I shoot it all the time. Another guy says, I screwed mine up shooting 2 boxes of Winchester or whatever through it. So
as somebody with a couple Garands and somebody who has shot all kinds of different stuff, do it at your own risk. I don't recommend it. I've done it. I'm actually on video doing it saying, look, it didn't break it, but that doesn't mean that you should run 10,000 rounds through it.
Yeah, it could cause some long-term fatigue if that's all you ever run through it. It could wear stuff out. You could have some premature wear too.
So just be aware of issues with your particular rifle, especially if it's an older rifle. If you've got a milsurp rifle and there's reports of being finicky with certain milsurp ammo, you may not want to buy that to shoot. You may want to use it for components. You may want to buy it for collecting. But if they've got a pretty good deal on it and you're okay with bringing it home and finding out later through internet research that maybe this isn't a good idea, or asking on a forum, maybe on one of these shows or whatever, we have our email addresses in the about section. If we know anything about it, we'll share that information. Just looking around, you might end up buying it because you're on your phone, you're not getting reception, and you're trying to Google, is this any good? And then you find out later it isn't. There's still other things you can do with it.
Oh yeah.
But I would just say make sure you get a good deal.
Hey, Missouri Patriot, did I ask you that question? Have you bought ammo at auctions, or do you ever buy like loose ammo at a gun show, or what's your take on it?
No, yeah, you asked me. I just worry about how it's stored.
I mean, I'm very particular about mine. Mine's been in ammo boxes since I brought it home from the store with silica gel packets in those boxes, because I want to keep them as more. We're not a high humidity state in Nebraska, but we are 5 or 6 months out of the year. So that's why I don't store anything in the garage. I'll set stuff down there before I go shoot a video. I'll get it ready to stage it the night before so it's ready to go, so I can throw it in my car and go. But I'm not going to long-term store guns and ammo in my garage. I would do it if I lived in San Diego and had 72 degrees year round and I could moderate the temperature of my safe, and the humidity level, I do it. But otherwise, you just hope that stuff's not sitting in somebody's like shed out back of their house and time to go to the gun show, and they get the duffel bags out of the shed, they dust off the frost, throw it back. Cooter throws it in the back of his tow truck and takes it to town.
Wait, you don't have a garage gun?
I got a garage machete. I got a garage baseball bat. No, I don't have a garage gun.
What about a bathroom gun?
Yeah, that I've got that taken care of. I've got the bedside gun. I've got Well, my gun I usually have on the table here is actually in its case packed up, but yeah, everybody should have a good garage gun. Yeah. God, Defense Dad. Now you put that. Now I need to go get something cheap, like one of those Turkish 9s that I can't find a holster for, and that's my garage gun. So yeah.
You see, this is what I mean. This is what we do to each other.
Now I'm going to start bidding on something I don't need here because of you, Defense Dad. Good job.
Yeah, he just planted that seed, and he's just
that little FN32 ACP would just sit perfectly on top of the Snap-on toolbox. You know, put a magnet on it. Put a magnet on. Just stick it to the side of the toolbox.
I'm looking at that 3rd gen Smith.
Oh, are you over? Okay, we'll go to the website here in a few seconds. I want to get through some comments real quick. Gun Snob says, I enjoy police auctions. There's one near me today, but I'm going to TriggerCon instead. X-Adam1 says, when I was a kid, they used to sell guns periodically at garage sales and local swap meets. Yeah, you can do that here in Nebraska. You can sell them at a garage sale. You just have to follow the local laws. Let's see. Matt ran at 100. Yeah, Matt was running 100 miles an hour to get around Wanamaker too, so. Tony says, I load ammo to save me money and make the most consistent rounds I can get. Tony York, absolutely. That is gospel right there. That is canon law of doing your own ammo. That's why we do it, brother. Red Dog says, my hand loads are better than most factory loads. Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all, Bo. Okay. Bjorn says, I don't buy guns in auctions, sometimes paid more than the gun is worth. Yeah, that happens a lot. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy says, I missed out on a Colt Delta Elite 10mm for $8.99 at a local shop because I was lazy. I didn't call it and put it in layaway on Monday. That's probably what, about a $1,600 gun?
Really? No, I don't know that it's that. No, it's over 1,000 now, but still, yeah, I've been there. I know how he feels.
Why? And it's the riding lawnmower gun?
Oh, dude.
I would just have a holster. If I had an acreage and I had a riding lawnmower, I would just have a big old fat revolver on my hip. I'd have like a 44 mag or something. I'd be a Tony York special going on, baby.
Magnum
strap a minigun to the hood of that.
If I'm on the prairie mowing the prairie, I got to have a prairie gun. So I got to have for those rattlesnakes, right?
Got to have an optic on the 44 as well. 8-inch barrel optic
on the other side.
Yeah. Snob brings up a good point there about the police auction. I've never done one of those. And I think of police auction, I think of the squad cars, right? But I'm sure they got other stuff, right? They've got did they get rid of the evidence or like? I don't know. I've never been to a police auction, so I don't know what they sell. Like the only auctions we have here for police stuff is when it goes back to the city auctions for vehicle sales. Like the city truck they're not using anymore, the city cruiser they're not using anymore. Like they have a lot of that stuff is like silent bidding. Like they'll have 1 or 2 cars. So you go silent bid on a car for 7 days and whoever gets it, you know? Would they auction off the confiscated guns, right? I don't
know if they can. I don't know if they can because remember we hear about them being destroyed.
Oh, okay. So
because I was thinking, ooh, we can get a good deal. So
if you go to a police auction, be careful about buying the air quotes empty Pelican cases.
So hey, this is that time of the show where I've only got 20 minutes, guys, before I got to pack it up here. But this is the time of the show where we start to spend your money. So this is the auction that's in Columbus, Nebraska that's kicking off. I thought now I'm going to click on the live stream here in just a minute and see if it's actually going on. So you can see this is what it looks like when you go to. This is what you see. These guns are sitting on tables at the Ag Pavilion where they're having the auction right now, or whatever location it's at in Columbus, and you can actually see these and handle these. So you can bid on these right now if you want to. The auction hasn't even started yet, and you can pre-bid on them. And there were a couple that were so high bid on the internet price, nobody bid on them in-house. They're like, I'm not going to pay $1,500 for a Marlin 336 lever action. I don't care if it's new. That's $500 more than I can get one from on Gunbroker, even after shipping and stuff. So it was an interesting environment. Like people would just kind of be shaking their head when they would see the price that people would pay. But then again, they'd go bid $1,000 on a beer stein. So go figure. So this is what we're talking about. You got the Colt Anaconda, you've got the Remington 1861 new model black powder, right? Winchester 1892 25-20 lever gun, Henry 45 Colt. $650, and I really wish this was running in real time because we could watch the prices going up on it. Here's a Sig P220 ST45 for $600. This is a deal right here, man. If you could get this for under $1,000, I think that would be a really good deal because that's a German manufacturer, P220, by the way, or West German manufacturer. What about these Whitneys, guys? I know nothing about these Whitneys. There's like 4 of them for sale at this auction. What can you guys tell me about this? Does anybody know anything about the Whitney 22s?
Nothing.
Looks like a Luger rear on it. It's kind of odd. Squib or Defense Dad, you guys have any experience with these at all?
No, I don't. It looks kind of like that Beretta one you can buy.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I had a little gun that would shoot plastic discs that looked just like this, but it was modeled after it. I can't even tell. This is Hartford. I don't know where it's made at, to be honest with you. Yeah. So anyway, just to kind of show you like what's for sale, it's kind of what I did is I scrolled from highest price to lowest price. That's where I'm at right now. So that's where stuff is. Although the pricing is only somewhat consistent. Like a lot of these vintage revolvers, I wouldn't even know. Here's an Enfield 303 that's only got $210 on it right now, matching numbers. And so you can see the pictures of it. So I mean, this will probably go for, what do you guys think? 600, 800? What are you guys guessing on this one? I don't even know what mark it is, to be honest with you.
Squid, what's the current bid now?
25 bids at $210. See, this is the point where like, man, I could bid on this, Now this one, I actually did a video on this, the Feather Industries 18.9mm. This thing completely breaks down into components and goes into a little zipper soft case. And these were designed to take lock mags. I shot I think it might've been the 45 or the 9. I can't remember. It was Stan's from SS Pawn. Great gun, but it was a Jam-O-Matic, and I don't know if it was the ammo or what the problem was. But here's the other thing too. Okay, so this gun's out of production. I don't know if anybody even services it anymore. So if you need a spring or you need it looks dusty and old, which is fine. But like you're sitting there thinking, oh man, this thing's kind of cool. What is it? Oh, $210. Here's the spam can, 762 by 39, 660 rounds, very heavy, expensive to ship. That looks like Russian, I'm guessing. But again, you could get it open and it could be, I mean, I would imagine if it's sealed, you're not going to have to worry about, any kind of problems. Or, hey, let me know if there's any comments popping up, guys, because I can't see anything, so I'm scrolling right now. Are we good right now?
Yeah, it looks like.
We're good. Okay, and as I'm scrolling, see, here's some really cool old revolvers, some Colt model 1892 WCF 32 cal revolver, Savage model 32 cal. Some if you're a John Deere person, there's some tractor stuff going on. Here's a Stevens 22 LR. There's a gallery gun that's going to come up for sale here too, a Savage, I think. It's kind of cool looking, a little pump gallery gun, kind of like the new gallery guns you can get. Here's a JM Ma Sewell pistol. I have no idea what this thing is. It does come with a magazine.
I was kind of looking at that Beretta that's 2 over from that. That was kind of cool looking.
Oh, the 22? Yeah, look at that. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen one of that. Looks like a little Luger, doesn't it?
I know.
Oh, Flowbird. It's a 22 Flowbird. 22 short. Beretta, made in Italy. It does come with a magazine. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, you can see that. I don't see any rust on it or anything. Something like that would be kind of fun to have. Just because have you ever seen one in a gun show before, What else we got here? They got a lot of optics that are, the optics are going up in price, but they're still a good price. Here's something I don't even, no idea what this thing is. Here's a map, 765. Is that what, 32? Help me out here, guys. 25, 32 ACP. German pistol. So it just says 7.65. I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, there's a 7.65.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
It's
no clip. Yeah. No clip included. It says no clip.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the specifics on that, but it's an older cartridge. It's yeah, I need more coffee. It escapes me. But you said optics. Would you buy used optics?
These look like they're brand new. These look. I saw they had this guy. They whatever. This might. I don't know if this is a part 2 of the last auction because they had these this exact same brand. These are brand new in box. NIB. Most of them say NIB.
Okay, because I would be a little bit leery of a used optic unless I was looking for an antique.
If you're there, you can take it out of the package and actually hold it, make sure there's no cracked lens, to make sure there's nothing broken with the reticle and stuff like that. So if you're there, it'll say new in box. I mean, I don't know if you're going to get a manufacturer warranty because you're not buying it from a store, See, here's one I kind of like. Here's the Stevens 105 at 107B 410. That's kind of cool looking. It's got some patina going on. It looks like it's the old, look at that. It's got that color case hardened finish on it. I mean, that's kind of a cool looking gun, Granted, I go to Walmart, get a brand new one for $125, but still. Here's a Smith & Wesson #1.
Yeah, now this would be something I would be looking for. Yes.
You can see it. I don't know if it's got I don't know what the date is on it. It says produced 1868 to 1882 era. Is that true?
Yes.
So what are we talking for something like this, Squib? What do you have any clue at something like this? It's like $105. And the thing is, I think these super obscure guns, I think, would be the best deal for somebody because unless you got a hardcore gun collector that's out there that knows what that's worth, you might be able to snag it for a third of what it sells for online, you know?
They might not know what it's worth. It could be pitted on the inside really bad. It could have broken springs, and some people don't know how to get springs.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who makes his own springs. So this would I've got a friend who does he's got his own channel. It's called Snappers, Antiques, Firearms Unlimited.
Okay.
If you want to learn anything about these older guns, check out his channel. I would drag him with me to one of these auctions and be like, "Hey, what do you think?" You know, and
here we go,
like,
baby. Look at this. Okay,
this
is my look at this. This is my point right here. $90, high point 380. Okay, so by the time you pay your sales tax, by the time you pay your it's 15% online buyer's fee. You know, your 4% credit card fee. It's like, okay, you could have just went and bought a brand new one for $125. You know, this one's up to 19 already. So sorry, Squib, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just had to point that out. No, you're saying, bring a buddy with you, somebody who knows antique guns are like, dude, I can fix that. And here's another one. Dude, these are kind of sweet looking, Squid. Look at what you're doing. Look at this.
You could compare them, and you might see one that the outside looks better, right? But the inside is crud. Right. Or some of these things have got a mixture of older and newer parts on there. You can machine reproduction parts to fit on the older guns. Sometimes they'll just drop in. Sometimes they won't. I was watching a video from Blackie Thomas where he was saying that the reproductions are actually made slightly smaller so a collector can mic out one of these guns to find out if it's got fake parts on there, if it's a total fake, because you can antique these things and make them. But for that price, it's more labor to antique them. Now, wait, is this going to end up costing? Oh, wait, no, that high point, is that going to end up costing more than just buying one at the store?
If you buy it in-house, you're going to pay sales tax on it, but you pay sales tax on it anyway if you bought it new. So it's at 90. I think they're probably 150 for the 380 ACP. Like, well, I mean, you can't even, I don't even know where you can buy these locally. I don't even know if you can buy high points locally here in Lincoln. Maybe you might find a used one, or a pawn shop might have a used one. You could buy one online and pay the FFL transfer fee, which is ridiculous. I mean, by the time you pay for shipping and sales tax and transfer fee, you're gonna have a $200 gun. So you might as well just go buy a $200 gun locally. Go buy a Taurus G3C or something for $200. But
okay, I'll go do that right now.
There you go. Yeah. And here's the thing I'm talking about in ammo. 5.7. Okay, this is a pretty good deal, but this is $30 times 3 right now. It's currently at $30. So $90 for 3 boxes of that. And that's not a bad price. You'd have to look and see what that Federal sells for. That's 50 rounds of 5.7. So when it has the times 3 buy, you have to pay the times 3 price because you're getting all 3 boxes when you buy it. So here's the thing, guys. If you got nothing going on today, just keep this on your phone and come back to it frequently, because this is going to go on for 7 hours today. It literally will run until 5 or 6 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to go to the next page and see what else is good. And like I said, I'm scrolling from most expensive to least expensive. So here's kind of an old Western field 22 bolt action, 22 short, long. Hey, Defense Stat, they had a couple lefty guns for sale in here too when I was scrolling. I mean, look at that. That actually looks decent. Is that the front iron sight? It does. And this guy is 14 bids on it right now. $47.50. So this is where you got to really be careful when you're looking at it. Here's some Black Hills 45 ACP. Here's a box for $22.50. I mean, I guarantee it's going to go for $40. So that's what I was saying about the ammunition. This looks okay. If it's not corroded, I might consider it. Black Hills is a good company, but again, you'd hope that the ammo's been stored properly. So I'm just kind of scrolling as much as I can, guys, with the time that we have. Any comments coming in, guys, on the YouTube side? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Yeah, Mario Mosen said, "Did you really say clip?"
Yeah.
No, they do. They do on here. They say clip not included. So yeah, you got to watch out. So here's another one. I'm really curious about this because I swear to God, when I zoomed in on this said Silencer Co. So here's the other thing too. Somebody's like, oh man, this SIG, or I'm sorry, the CZ Scorpion Evo, right? But when I swear to God, it says Silencer Co. When you zoom in on it, I'm like, okay, is that a fake suppressor? Look, it says Silencer Co. Look at that. So I hope to God somebody isn't going to buy this and they're not selling a whatever class they call it suppressor, because somebody might get it and you might, I don't know what the liability is. If you buy the gun and there's a suppressor on it, it's not registered to you. I hope the auction house knows what they're doing, because I kind of worry that this one, I'm just like, oh man. But it could just be a fake. It could be a wish.com screw on fake can. I wouldn't leave it on there personally, but yeah, that's a cool looking gun. But I'm like, ooh, suppressor. No, don't be thinking that, Travis. Here's that SIG I was talking about. This is beautiful. Look at that, guys. This is from, I think, the 90s, maybe. These were a limited run. The P226 Sport. To import this particular line, I think they had to put an adjustable sight on it for import laws because this was not USA manufactured. This is a German manufacturer P226. These are only made for a couple of years. And it came with a Hogue factory grip on it too, which I thought this is one I'd like to bid on, but it's already up to 600 and something right now. P226 Sport. This guy is 550. The bad part is I'm telling all of you about this, so now I'm going to get into a bidding war with you guys. Here's a Beretta. Which one is this? Help me out here, guys. What's their carbine called? A CX4, is that right? Look at that. That is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are kind of
cheap
cool.
light on the front of it, but still, yeah, the CX4 with the FDE. I mean, that'd be something worth picking up. That's just cool, man. Already has a little optic on the top of it, ready to go. Got a sling on it. That's 650. Here's a couple Glocks, new in box. Glock 25 Gen 5 for 450. That's cheap. A brand new one would cost you $100 more. So that would be a good deal. Here's a Gen 5. I'm assuming a 19. Is that a 19 or is that even more? I think it's a 19. 19 Gen 5, new in box. That would cost you $550 here locally. Here's a SD9. They put BE, but it's a VE. This would be about a $299 gun. These were about $249 at one point. If you buy one of these guys, make sure you change out the guide rod and the spring. They're super flimsy. So yeah, as I scroll, you can see they've got some really good deals. Here's a Beretta 22. I've never even seen one of these before. This is kind of cool. Is that like their, what's Beretta's 5.56 rifle? Yeah, this is the ARX. ARX or APX. I can't remember what this is.
Yeah.
There's hardly no bids on that one. So that kind of looks like their 5.56 rifle. I like this. This is a really cool one. That Smith & Wesson model 91059 9mm.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
That's, yeah. I know you guys got in on those when they had those highway patrol trading guns for around 400. That'd be one worth picking up. Just it doesn't have the rail on it, but still, that's beautiful. That's a nice gun, man. I don't know if they're reliable or not. Were they reliable guns? Do you guys know those 9 series, the 91 series?
I mean, reliable enough. Well, sometimes the law enforcement, they just buy them because they get a bulk price on them, a deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have anything on those, but I would like to get one of those one day.
So here's an example of not a good deal. Okay, G3C, it's already $200. I can go get one for the exact same price locally, you know, and you're going to pay sales tax on it. It's unfired, okay, G3C. But as you guys know, I mean, that's already, you know, it's not really the best deal. So here's a Ruger 5.7 that's already up to 600. So the thing is, once you start bidding on it, man, you really got to contain yourself because it doesn't take long. And I'm looking at some of these Henrys. I mean, look, it's a big boy already pushing 800. So I mean, you know, I can go get this locally for $100 more. Check this out, Squib. Armalite AR-10 308.
I mean, I've already got an Armalite. This
how is that price wise? $900? Are those collectibles at all or not?
No, because that's they bought the name to the company. That's not the original company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Back in the 90s, they were making. They're still doing it, but I mean, Eagle Arms and Armalite. They started off with Eagle Arms and they bought the rights to the Armalite name. So it's not the same gun.
Here you go. There you go, Defense Dad. There's your pocket carry. Got your Rough Rider there, $105. So, and here's your Bubba. Oh, it's been Bubbaed a little bit. It's an M1 or no M30. What is this, guys?
Says
M30. Is that
an M1 carbine? It's an M1 carbine with a civilian scope on it.
Yeah, see, like some of these, it's like, is that M30? What? Because then I wonder, okay, is this a different variety that I've never seen before? A lot of good shotguns for sale on here.
It could be in 30 carbine, or it could be a 22. They, you know, and there were aftermarket ones. The universal carbine is a little bit different.
Like here's an example of high ammo prices: 1,400 rounds, a golden bucket and it's already up to $105. Shipping available. So yeah. Again, I'm just pre-warning you guys. You go do this stuff. This is on you. Like here's something I consider. Here's a nice Mosin. Which model is this? M9159 Cavalry. I mean, look at that. This thing is beautiful. Look at that. I mean, it's not a finish on that. And that's, I don't know if it's is that Tula or is that Ismesh? It looks like it's got the arrow and the triangle. They don't say what, but yeah, I mean, the Mosins I saw at the last show that I went to looked exactly like this. That's awesome.
Somewhere in
but again, it's
SKS too.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the SKS that they had? They had 2 SKSs, don't they? But check this out, guys. Here's a gallery gun. This is kind of cool. A gallery number 80, 22 long short. It's kind of sweet. if you want an antique one. So like I said, you can really get some really cool deals if you look around. It's just neat, man. Just like from like a salvage standpoint, what you can find at a lot of these places. So, all right, let's check the comments real quick. We'll bring it back. So I'm leaving you guys with something to do today. If you're bored, just kind of watch this auction when it kicks off. Now I'm going to go back real quick and see if the live webcast auction is going on right now. No, it has not started yet. Because when it does, you're going to see the countdown on each of these kicking off and stuff, and then you'll see the prices go up on them. And if you pre-register, you can click on bid, and then you can bid on the item. So anywho, I don't know what time it starts. I thought it was 8 o'clock, but so. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. I've got to get moving here. I've got family visiting, and we have a lot going on, so we're going to go ahead and call it. Sorry to leave you guys like this, but I hope you had some fun today just talking about the pros and cons and pitfalls you can run into when you go to the gun auctions. They're exciting. They're fun to watch. You can get some really good deals, and sometimes you can find some original, unfired, good vintage guns that somebody bought 30 years ago and they put in their closet. You can find like a nice, like a nice Vepr, or you can find a nice, Colt AR, right? I mean, sometimes you can find some really cool deals. You're going to pay for it, but sometimes that's the only place to find them, short of buying them on Gunbroker and stuff like that. So I think Tony's comments still up there. Rotting lawnmower gun. All right, let's see what else we got for comments here. Guns and Barbecue says, I'm picking up a Delta Elite 1911 today. 7 mags and 2 boxes of ammo come with it. $1,200. Is that the Delta that Y&H didn't get or somebody else didn't get? I'm kind of curious. I don't know. Gunsob says, loaded ammo isn't nearly as sensitive to humidity as people on the internet want to act like it is. I'd be concerned if it was defensive ammo, but just range ammo. Yeah, if it's not corroded and the cases aren't rusty, I consider buying it, especially if the boxes look like they've been unopened. Yeah. What do we have here? Guns and Barbecue says, my first serious girlfriend was from Columbus, Nebraska. Mistakes were made. Guns and Barbecue, why don't you shoot me her name? Let's just make sure that I'm really curious who that person is. I might know that person, especially since you and I are maybe about the same age. I'm probably maybe 10 years older than you. I don't know. Let me know who that person is, Guns. I'm just kind of curious. I won't announce it publicly, but I got to know. I got to know. What else we got here? I think that's it. All right, guys, we got to call it. Let me check the private chat. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. It was short but sweet. Missouri Patriot, I want to thank you for being on the show today. Defense Dad and Squibby, thanks for joining us today. Defense Dad, you want to give us some final words of wisdom or plug your channel?
I got nothing. I put out a video. If you want to watch it, watch it.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Is it the one that you were filming indoors? Is that the one? Can we talk about that or not? Is that the one?
Yeah.
I honestly, dude, this week I've been so freaking busy, and then I've been going to bed at like 9. So I don't even know what you guys have put out for videos. So what is it?
I did a review of the new Mantis Blackbeard X. So they've incorporated the Mantis X and the Blackbeard for the AR-15. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Guys, make sure you get over there and check it out. Defense Dad's got a lot of great videos. And if you want to learn about some cool, awesome editing and stuff, make sure you check out Defense Dad's channel. So also I should start calling you you're just a never-ending producer of content. Squibload. Squib, you never know what you're going to see on your channel, man. Anything from waffles to whiskey to rifles to random gun parts here and there. Squib, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah. I bought a G2C. You said to do it, so I did.
There we go. Then you also, that was the 40, right?
I thought
was it the 40?
I bought
G2C in the 40 cal, wasn't it? Because you showed your video, didn't you?
I just placed another order with Family Firearms. It just popped up with my order number.
So here's the problem with FamilyFirearms.com. I love the business. The problem is they don't charge sales tax if you're not in their home state. That is a beautiful thing. That is a wonderfully just financially destructive thing. That's where I got my Daniel Defense AR from, and I didn't pay sales tax on it. I saved like $200 on it. It was ridiculous.
I was loading up the shopping cart. I put the insurance on each firearm. It was like under $2 for each one. And then there's a problem at the top. It kept wanting to make my ship to my FFL, but there's a provision at the bottom where you actually put in your FFL. So it kept blocking me. And
I had that problem when I was trying to buy mine. I didn't understand what I was trying to check out, and it wasn't working. I was trying to pick my FFL, and I had to I don't even know how I got it. I got SS Pond to go in, but I think because it wants to limit it to your distance of your address or something. And I was trying to put mine in, and it wasn't expanding. I had to change the distance so it actually recognized my FFL 200 miles away. I road tripped out west and picked it up.
Well, since I have an account, my home address is in there because that's my bill to. So I just had to go in there and edit and then select that. I don't know why it has my name and my FFL's address and then my name and my home address, but I put that in, and the FFL's down there at the bottom. It's got the name and everything else. So once I did that, it took my credit card. So, yeah, I gotta go put this in the fridge and go cool it off, because I am trying to generate a Clio with this purchase.
Make sure you're filming it so we can all see the when the MRAP shows up out front. You roll up with a flintlock over your shoulder. Hey guys, what's up? You want to come on in and have a coffee? I'm filming a review right now.
Yeah.
Thin Blue Line Blend, come join me. And by the way, Squib and I are kind of doing a collab here on a coffee review, but we'll bring more on that later. So yeah.
So yeah, the Travi Mind Trick got me to buy more.
Hey, look, it's true. I have this influential power over people. I'm not going to be humble about it. It's a gift I have. It really is God given. Look at Bjorn. I want to get a Colt Trooper Mark III. Thanks, Travis. Bjorn, all I can say, the single action trigger pull, it is silky smooth, billowy goodness. That's the only way I can describe a Colt Trooper Mark III single action trigger. It is unreal. It's unlike anything I've ever shot before. I'm serious. It's just amazing. It's just like you tell the bullet where you want it to go, and it will go there. So that is an amazing revolver. That's all I got to say. It's beautiful. I don't want to give this back to Stan, but I'm going to have to. So it's going to have to go back here soon. So yeah. So guys, make sure you check out Squibble's channel. Make sure you check out Defense Dad's channel. Let's give a shout out to the YouTube side. Let's see who's watching today. You know what? One more time. Let me just give you that auction. Just because I care so much about you guys, I'm going to give you the address for that auction one more time. Watch it today. You're gonna enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I kept checking my phone last time when I went to it because I had to leave eventually. It was like 6 o'clock and they still had 100 lots left. They do literally 1 lot per minute, and they have like, I don't know how many lots are on this auction. There was like 400 lots, I think, on the last time that they posted. So there's that link for you. I'm not responsible for any financial liability that you cause to yourself because of this. That's my disclaimer right now. But anyway, let's give a shout out. Travis P11, YNH, Guns and Barbecue, Bjorn out there, Tony York watching, Patriot in the Dark, Mario Mosen, Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy, Guns and Barbecue, it's a small world, brother. Eduardo Espinosa, X Adam 1 joining, 2 Live Moose checking in with us today, by the way. Vanessa Kitty's in the house, wheeled and well armed. Always good to see you, brother. John Z's out there today too, coming live from Missouri. Tony York's out there also. Let's see here. Night Strike was checking in this morning. He texted me bright and early this morning to talk about his latest rifle purchase. So I'm not gonna say what it is, but anywho, Tactical FUD out there also. Tacos and French fries. Mike's out there today too. Bought 75 in the house. Gun Snob was watching today. All the usual suspects joining in with us. I don't know what next week's topic's going to be. We're going to have to see. We might just do another gun auction. I have no idea. Squib Left, Squib Load. The Squib Empire's out there also. And that's it. So this has been Caliber Corner, episode number 251, season 5. Remember, this is the finest quality of life improvement podcast out there on the internet right now. If you watch this, you will feel better about yourself when you get done. I want to thank everybody for watching. Little shout out to the YouTube side. I am going to try to get another video out this week. Hopefully it happens. I got a very busy week coming up, and we'll see what we can do. I've just got something, kind of a follow-up on a previous video that I made that I want to get out there to you guys, and I've got so much more content I need to make. The good news is it's getting nice and cool now outside, so I don't mind extended trips at the range. I'm not sweating to death now, so it's going to be a good time out at the range. All right, you guys have fun, be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, remember, friends, let friends buy guns for themselves. There we go. All right, have a nice day. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Hi, Alicia.